When you get into the motorcycle world, you probably see yourself like this, cruising on a big, loud Harley or tearing the canyons with a 1000cc sport bike machine. In reality, you should be looking for something like Honda Grom Kawasaki Z125 Pro or something like this, the 2020 Benelli TnT 135. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a big wild Harley and it doesn't sound like a super sport bike, but it shouldn't stop you, because this machine will teach you much more than you would get with any loud and heavy. And again, bikes like this will give you essential skills and you won't dump the idea of riding once and for all. So what is Benelli anyways? Benelli who? What? Never heard of it. Well, that's the Italian brand that was purchased by one of the biggest Chinese manufacturers, SSR. So now you know it. It's got Italian DNA in it with Chinese price tag, or should I say affordable? Oh, sorry, I meant affordable. This is the new boy in town, and today we got a lot to talk about. My name is Dennis, this is for Life Test Drive, shall we? So yeah, if you don't work on the bikes, be careful. This one would take some time to practice and to understand. Like every single motorcycle or a car that's been designed in Europe, well, sometimes it could be a little bit overcomplicated. And that's what I see here. Reading this sticker, it says, do not cross 6,000 RPMs, otherwise Mama Benelli will say, How am I supposed to get this thing home? You purchase one of those and you call it a tow truck? No way! What I'm riding today is a 2020 model year, so it's got the new graphics, and I think this red frame makes it really unique. Makes it more European instead of trying to repeat Yamaha, Honda or other manufacturers. So for the 2020 year, you're also gonna get the new color, which is green, and that's the only one color where you can get the green rims. All other three would be with the black rims like this. I guess they did it on purpose. I mean, look, somehow we have to invite those Kawasaki fans to ride the new Benelli, right? So why don't we make it green? If you ask me, it feels taller. It feels like you're sitting higher than you would compare with, let's say, Kawasaki Z125 Pro or Honda Grom. While the Honda Grom will be with the inch lower seat position from the ground, and Z125 would be pretty much the same seat height. But somehow this bike feels like I'm sitting on the higher chair instead of sitting on something small. Where you will see the significant difference, probably with the price tag. Well, it starts from 2,699. So yeah, it looks more Italian, it looks more European, it's got this beautiful exhaust, it's got this red frame. And now you're talking about price tag, and it will be at least $500 difference that you can save buying Benelli in comparison to Honda Grom or Kawasaki Z125 Pro. You know, it's so much fun to ride one of those. You gotta push it and you gotta enjoy it. You have to really see that the motorcycles are all about fun. Doesn't matter if you're riding a 1000cc bike or you're riding 135. You just have to have fun and you just have to enjoy it. So with all this price difference and fun factor, you can easily modify one of those, and that's exactly what we're gonna do in a future videos. So now let's talk about looks. The big difference that you're gonna see in comparison to Honda Grom, for example, Honda Grom can offer you a package where you're gonna have front ABS. None of the other bikes in this category will have ABS at all. So if this is something crucial for you, you pretty much just decided what you want to buy. And I think if you're riding on the streets, having the ABS even on 125 is something definitely worth to consider. Well, when you look at the headlight, I mean, I'm not a big fan, okay? It just looks like an angry bug or a Terminator. It's not cool, okay? It's like bunch of headlights and it's not really bright the way that you would expect during the night time. If you're planning to buy one of those and you're gonna ride during the night time, I have a trick for you. So you can just use the rubber band to hold this pass, and you'll get all the light bulbs lighting up in front of you. I think they've done a really good job in terms of the turn signals. Look at the rear. Look at the rear turn signals. I wouldn't change them. Why would I? Those are integrated and they look really good. And then when you look at the front ones, those are really bright, really visible, and I don't know why would you ever try to change them. If you will decide to remove this license plate holder, the rear tire hanger, it will make the look of super sport bike in a very small package. I said it's like a Terminator, or more like a angry bug. So yeah, overall I do like the looks, the style, the way they design it. Well, it's a very unique design, what can I say? So the engine, 1-cylinder, 4-stroke, oil-cooled. It has 4 valves and it has 2 spark plugs inside. So it's supposed to burn fuel better. It's supposed to give you better response in terms of throttle. And that's definitely something that makes this bike completely different in comparison to Z125 or Honda Grom. So Benelli claims 11.3 horsepower and just a little bit over 7 pound-feet of torque. The weight of this bike is 255 pounds. It has almost 2-gallon gas tank. And now a little bit about myself. That's where you guys can smile. Alright, I'm a 200-pound dude. I'm over 6'1", I'm like 6'2", and my weight would be pretty much the similar weight of this bike. So on the parking lot, if I need to move it, I wouldn't even bother to turn the key and lock the steering wheel. I will just take it and move it. So having 1.9 gallon gas tank, you will get roughly 160-170 miles on the tank. If you're planning to commute around the city, I wouldn't be surprised to see something over 100 miles per gallon on this thing. But if you're cruising down the back roads like I'm doing right now, well, you're probably looking at 70-80 miles per gallon. Which is not bad, right? I mean, this is way better than Toyota Prius after all. So now the biggest disappointment about this 2020 Benelli TnT 135. Well, that would be this dash. Not the way they design it or other things that I'm gonna mention in a few. More about the speedometer is way off. If you don't believe me, alright, let me park. I'll just turn my GPS speedometer so you can compare it side by side and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. Alright, we're downloading the speedometer. Let's see. Miles, car, bike. Let's go. Start. Okay, here's the official test. Alright, you see 3-4 miles an hour, maybe 5. You can see the difference, right? 22 versus 26, alright? And the higher you get in terms of the speed, the bigger the difference would be. So 45 versus 36. I mean, that's a lot. It is a lot for a smaller machine like this. Let me get you to the downhill where I can show you what I'm talking about. So 42.51. I mean 43, 44, 52. It's like it's way off. And you can see I'm not talking about a mile or two, but look at the downhill. So it's 73 miles an hour versus 64. I mean, seriously? That's the huge difference. It's way off. At least 10 miles an hour difference is a big deal for such a small bike. Now let's see how fast I can go on this machine based on my GPS. On a straight line, shifting, and that's about it. Literally 52 miles an hour, not even 60. And you can tell it's not going uphill quite well on the 5th gear, right? Well, it's picking up some speed on the 4th though. Alright, you can see this is pretty much the straight line. So now, let's find out how fast is the 2020 Benelli TnT 135 with a person like me, 200 pound on the bike that weighs 255. Alright, and we're going! Yep! Now red light. So 65 versus 55. That's a liar! Well, you know it. This is not faster than Honda Grom. This is not faster than Z125. They just pretend to be faster. And even though they got 10 cc's more, and even though they got this technology with dual spark plugs in it, it still cannot go faster than the Grom or Z125. I was able to go 65 miles an hour on Z125, and I was able to top out 64-65 on Honda Grom. So yeah, you know it. That's the most stupid thing about this bike. They're lying to you, and if you think, okay, that's fine, you know, the speedometer is not showing you the correct information, I can live with that. But think about it. You're buying one of those, and if you have this 10, 15, maybe even 20% difference, and you put like 10,000 miles on it, so you actually didn't put 10,000 miles on it. You're selling the motorcycle like it would have a different set of sprockets, and I don't think anyone would believe you when you're gonna say, hey, yeah, you know, the speedometer is clocking faster. I think we all have to do something about it. This is a beautiful bike, and they cannot lie to us, because we're gonna put our own money into it. We're gonna put our love, we're gonna put our time. So if you wanna join me, I would love to file a complaint with National Traffic Safety Administration. Just write down the comment below, and we're gonna hit them hard. What about suspension? When you're going through the corners, it feels really stiff, especially in comparison to Honda Grom. Honda Grom would be the softest suspension in class. The front is not adjustable at all, and it's not adjustable in any bike in this category. The rear suspension can be adjusted on Z125 or on the Benelli, but we're talking about preload only. And if you're planning to take this thing on track, you obviously want to swap the tires, suspension, and a couple of other parts. You know what's interesting? As soon as I took a delivery from the dealership, I was going to the gas station and I was complaining how harsh the ride. And now I still have to deal with it because we wanted to do the review before I'm gonna take my hands on this bike and I'm just gonna customize the hell out of it. My impression was I'm riding on really harsh tires. And after I put 367 miles on it, or should I say about 340 miles, liar! I understand it. It's not only the suspension, well, it's pretty stiff. So when you put together this scooter tire plus really stiff suspension, you get this feel that you're riding on overloaded tires, like you have 45 psi in them. So first 10 miles I was between reading the manual and looking at the PSI gauge because I couldn't believe that those tires could be so hard. Even right now you can tell my voice is vibrating. I'm going over the bumps, but man, those tires are crap. So yeah, as soon as you're gonna do the delivery, I would say swap the tires. I mean, I understand those are new and so on and so forth. You just spend your money on the new motorcycle, but seriously, swap the tires. The first second you get the bike, do that. Speaking about tires, I got some good news for you. Don't freak out. You can get dual compound tires like Pirellis or Michelin for just right around 120, 150. And I'm talking about set, front and back. That's another good side of buying something small. You're not gonna be scared to practice on the parking lot. If you're gonna scratch the fairing, I mean, it's only 2,600 bucks motorcycle. Buying a Ducati or something Italian expensive, well, one fairing would cost you 2,600 bucks. So if you're looking to buy one of those, I would suggest you to subscribe because we're gonna do the whole series. We're gonna do tires, exhaust, we're gonna modify a lot of things on this bike, and I'm even planning to do 6-speed on this bike. So make sure to hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, and watch the newest and coolest bikes, cars, parts, gear every single week as soon as they come out. Right now, let's talk about the main topic, how it rides. The sitting position is very comfy. I can attack my knees underneath the fairing, but if you're not 6'2", I think it would be possible if you sit a little bit up front. Look, I almost got there, but the sitting position overall is very comfy. You have plenty of room here to move around. The seat feels soft for at least first 20-30 miles. I don't think you're gonna put more than 100 miles a day on this bike because the seat feels soft only for the first like 20-30 miles. I like the mirrors, those are usable. The only downside, like most of the bikes when you're riding fast, those vibrating a lot, especially with this one-cylinder engine. Any one-cylinder motorcycle will vibrate a lot, and if you're planning to buy one of those, you should know that. I think having 5-speed transmission on this bike is really helpful. The gears are pretty short. Look, I'm on the 5th gear right now, 7,000 RPMs, and I'm downshifting. What I got? Only 1,000 RPM difference. Positive, the 5th gear should be taller, but slipper clutch on this bike works quite well. Again, you can add more power, you can modify the exhaust, you can connect the power commander, you can reflash the ECU. The sky is a limit for this bike. And another good news, you can even find a 6-speed kit that will allow you to get one extra gear. So you wouldn't need to almost redline every single time when you're just going straight. Oh, almost forgot. There is one more thing about this dash that I don't like. Yep, look, here we're supposed to have a gear indicator, right? But instead, we're just blank. We don't know the temperature of the bike, we don't get much information on the dash, and the right side of the screen feels like they forgot to add something there. At least a gear indicator. It reminds you about something like a Chinese dash out of the eBay. Wait, it's a Chinese bike, or should I say Chitalian. There is another thing that I have to point out. Well, look, time to time I do enjoy messing with the motorcycles, and what I mean by that, I do like to modify them and I do like to work on them. And as soon as I was trying to set up my phone mount plus phone charger, I've noticed one thing. Check this out. They've managed to put the positive lead right underneath the metal bracket. Well, if you don't work on the bikes and you would try to connect something like a phone charger, what are the odds that you're gonna touch your screwdriver next to this perfectly metal piece without trying to remove it? If you don't work on the bikes, you should know, never do that. Remove anything that could possibly touch the battery or any metal objects, because if you put your screwdriver with positive lead next to the negative lead, which this bracket would be, you at least gonna blow your fuse. That's the downside of this design. And like I said, I just put the phone charger, but it took me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe like 15 bolts just to wire the phone charger to the battery. Okay, now you know it. This is the most honest opinion about this bike. To sum up, the build quality is excellent. As of right now, I've put 447 miles on it, and as we go, I will update you with all the reliability, service, and everything. This is definitely one of those that you won't be scared to ride. It is an excellent option for the beginner's bike category, and it will cost you only $2,700. Right, plus taxes and fees, I get that. I've paid them myself. This is definitely a great looking one, Italian style with most affordable price tag. I guess it all comes down to one simple point. The bike has exceptional value, some minor issues, and I do hope we can all live with it. One day I will keep revving until your bike will die. But it's pretty simple. You just hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, and watch the newest and coolest bikes, cars, gear, parts every single week as soon as they come out. Or you can see me in your garage doing this day and night. So you have to decide, even though the choice is pretty simple. Subscribe, like, share, and we'll see you next week. All right. Ooh. About to take off. Tower. Benelli about to take off. Tower. Benelli about to take off. We're not doing 70. There is no way.